Welcome to the second video in our lesson on circumference of circles. So here we're going to explore a very famous symbol in mathematics, pi. Now you may have seen this symbol before and known it relates to circles somehow, but may not have known exactly what it means. Well, pi is the value we get when we divide the circumference of a circle by its diameter. So we can write it like this. Pi equals c divided by d. So let's explore that relationship by looking at some round objects like a clock and a button. So if I want to measure the circumference of this clock, I can tie a piece of string around the edge of the clock and then use a ruler to measure the length of the string. Or I can use this flexible measuring tape to wrap around the edge. Now when I did that, I found the circumference to be 90 centimeters. Now I need to measure the diameter. So that's the line that goes right across the middle of the circle, passing through the center. So I lined up my ruler between 9 o'clock and 3 o'clock. And I got the diameter to be 29 centimeters. Now when I divide the circumference by the diameter, I got a value of about 3.10. So that's the estimate for pi. Now I wanted to do the same thing using a smaller object like a button. So I found the circumference of that to be 30 millimeters and the diameter to be 9.5. When I divided the circumference by the diameter this time, I got a value of 3.16. So I concluded that pi is around 3.1. So let's look at the exact value of pi. Pi equals 3.14159,265,358, and so on. The 3 dots at the end shows that it goes on and on and on, and it doesn't stop. Pi is actually what we call an irrational number. That means it is non-repeating, so the digits don't repeat, and is non-terminating, which means it doesn't stop. So pi is a non-repeating, non-terminating decimal that cannot be expressed as a fraction. So how do we use that when we're doing calculations? Well, we're going to use the first few digits, 3.14, or you can use a pi button on your calculator. Let's have a look. Say I want to find the circumference of each of these circles. Well, we know that pi is equal to c divided by d. So if I rearrange that formula, I get that c equals pi times d. So if I multiply pi times the diameter, I'll get the circumference. Now we've already estimated the circumference to be 3 times the diameter. So the fact that pi is around 3.14 means our estimate was pretty good. Now most calculators, scientific calculators, have a pi button on them. So on this calculator, you can see it's here. Now if you don't have a scientific calculator with this button, you can use a value of 3.14 for pi instead. So now let's calculate the circumference. So for A, I see the diameter is 16.2. So C equals pi times D. Now using pi to be 3.14, I'll times that by the diameter of 16.2. And I get a value of 50.868 centimeters. So that is the distance around the circle. Now for B, I can't replace D with 3 because 3 is actually the radius, not the diameter. So let's go ahead and find the diameter. The diameter is twice the radius. So 2 times 3 gives me 6 as the diameter. So now I can multiply 3.14 times 6 to give me 18.84 meters as the circumference. And doing one more, I have a circle with a diameter of 24. So 3.14 times 24 gives me 75.36 millimeters. So now you should find some round objects that you have lying around to measure the diameter and circumference of to see what value you get for pi. Have fun doing that, and then you can move on to the next video in the lesson.